With the announcement of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I am as hungry as ever for Viking and Norse mythology content. I've started watching The Last Kingdom on Netflix. It's actually a really good show. I do highly recommend it. Other than that though, I want to play a video game. I want to play an RPG. So this is my list of 5 Viking and Norse mythology RPGs that you can play. You can get that gameplay right now. Let's go. Number 5 on this list is Vikings Wolves of Midgard. The game takes you to the shores of Midgard, a world based upon the mythology and history of the Vikings, but with a fantasy twist. Vikings Wolves of Midgard is a hack and slash RPG akin to the Diablo series. The game offers different combat classes based on some of the Nordic gods, each with their own upgrade trees and abilities to use. Hack and slash your way through enemies and boss fights as you attempt to rebuild your clan. This game also has a free Steam demo which you can download and play for free right now to get your hands on the game and see if you like it before making the purchase. 2017 was obviously a good year for Viking games, as this next title was also released in 2017, and that is Expeditions Viking. Set in approximately 790 AD after your father's death, you are charged with leading your clan back to glory and honor as you set your sights on England to achieve yours and your clan's goals. Create your character, and as the chieftain of your clan, let your ambition guide your choices in this party-based isometric RPG. The combat in Expeditions Vikings is your typical turn-based isometric combat, which has its own unique twist to it, where your companions and you will make your movements and your attacks in one turn. After that turn, then your enemies will also do the same, and all of the enemies will have their attacking and movement cycles. This unique take on the turn-based isometric combat allows you to focus fire and set up unique tactics as you can all do your actions at once before the enemies do theirs. Number 3 on this list is actually technically 3 games. It's the Banner Saga trilogy. Live through an epic role-playing Viking saga where your strategic choices directly affect your personal journey. Make allies as you travel with your caravan across this stunning yet harsh landscape. The Banner Saga trilogy spans across 3 games, and you can take all of your progress, your choices, your consequences, whether they're good or bad, throughout the trilogy. The Banner Saga 1 and 3 are available on Xbox Game Pass, so you can jump right in and try them if you like. At the moment, if you have that service, I would obviously recommend to start with number 1, as this is a trilogy akin to Mass Effect in that your progress is directly copied from 1 to 2 to 3. So it is good to start with number 1, and you won't be missing out on anything by starting at the very beginning. Number 2 on this list is, once again, another game released in 2017, and that is Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. While this is not strictly an RPG, it is a title that anyone watching this video should 100% give a try. Before I played Hellblade, I didn't really understand what all the hype was about. It is a game that has to be experienced to fully understand. Hellblade is a dark fantasy action-adventure set in the Viking Age. A broken Celtic warrior, known as Senua, embarks on a haunting quest into Viking hell to fight for the soul of her dead lover. Senua is haunted by her own past and must overcome her own personal demons before taking on the demons in front of her that will stop her from saving her lover's soul. With a solid combat system and fantastic voice acting and mocapped cutscenes, it really brings out the story in this game, and it is a fantastic journey to go on. I streamed my playthrough of Hellblade, and I cannot recommend this title enough. It's also a short game that is very easy to complete, as the story flew by for me personally. Before we get to number 1, I have a few honorable mentions that we'll go through that didn't make this list for various reasons. Starting with For Honor. For Honor is another game that released in 2017 originally. For Honor is a multiplayer game where for some reason knights, samurais and Vikings all fight each other in big epic battles. The game also has a campaign mode which you can play solo or co-op. Northgard is a strategy game based on Norse mythology in which you control a clan of Vikings, vying for control over a mysterious newfound continent of Northgard. Play against other people, single player against AI, or play the story campaign. There are multiple clans to choose from and free content updates to this game. It's well worth looking into if you like these style of strategy games, and for some reason it was also released in 2017, but that's neither here nor there. A title that didn't release in 2019 is currently in early access on Steam is Mount and Blade Bannerlord. This game didn't make the list as it's neither Viking nor is it Norse mythology. This is an action RPG game inspired by a similar time period to Viking and Norse mythology, and it has a lot of qualities that scratch a certain itch that I feel is relevant to this discussion. In this game, you can rule a clan, roam the countryside, raid villages, command troops, siege castles, and create allies and enemies, and eventually your own kingdom. and it is worth looking into. I've been really enjoying my time with Mount and Blade Bannerlord. The Sandbox open world is something that is really enjoyable, and as you gather your party and you grow in strength, there's more that you can do and the game really starts to open up. It is a slow grind early on, so if you are new to this title, I would recommend to really give it its due time, because early on you will maybe not die a lot, but you will struggle. You'll lose a lot of troops, and it does take a lot of time to kind of understand the general loop of this game, but it's well worth getting into. The last honorable mention that I have for you guys is a game that, again, isn't strictly Viking or Norse game, but it is heavily influenced by these themes, and that is obviously Skyrim. I mean, they even have a race that's called Nords. I don't think I need to go in depth with Skyrim as to why it's a great game and why you should probably play it. Most of you watching this video probably already have played it. If you haven't played Skyrim by now, buy yourself an Amazon Alexa and give it a shot. It's a great time. And if you are playing it on one of the platforms that does support mods, you could also download mods, make it more like a Viking game, but it is worth mentioning for sure. Now, finally, onto the number one game on this list. You may have already guessed it by this point, and that is God of War. If you own a PS4, this title is a defining game for this generation. God of War 2018 is a soft reboot of the franchise set in the future where Kratos is now in Midgard. After the death of his wife, Kratos tries to build a relationship with his son Atreus as they journey through Midgard and other Norse realms to fulfill her request that her ashes be spread at the highest point of the 9 realms. Atreus is unaware of Kratos' godly power, though it's pretty obvious. I mean, just look at the guy and look at the way he kills everyone, but whatever. Or his haunted and violent past. I cannot say much about the story and the setting without spoiling some of the game's most amazing and unparalleled moments. I don't think there is a moment in this story that feels like filler. There is a constant theme throughout the whole journey, and it is a great story between father and son and their developing relationship, as well as all the challenges that happen to this mighty God of War and the other gods in this newly found universe. God of War is not only one of the best stories for this generation, but it's also one of the best worlds, graphics, music, and combat there is in this generation. Throwing the axe and calling it back is one of the most satisfying things you can do in a game today. You really feel like Thor. It just has so much weight to it, and the combat is just so much fun to beat up all of these creatures and enemies that you find throughout the world. I highly recommend God of War. If you do have a PlayStation 4, please pick this game up. It is well worth playing. Let me know in the comments below if you have any games you think I've missed, what you think of the games on this list as well, if you've played them. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and on Twitch. I stream 3 days a week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday Australian night times. Thank you for watching this video. My name is Norza, and have a great day.